Semen retention is often grossly misunderstood because of all of the myths, as well as the exaggerated claims and oversimplification that comes with this practice. So today I want to talk about some of the biggest misconceptions that I see men latching onto and falling for. And I'll also weave throughout this my own experience. Now, I've got well over 7 years of consecutive semen retention practice. 5 of those years were very strict practice around semen retention, and almost sort of dogmatic and ideological approach for spiritual benefits. I really devoted myself and dedicated myself with a lot of spiritual practice, and was also a part of various communities which practice this, and got to see a very broad spectrum of practitioners and experience levels. And also in my coaching practice, working with hundreds of men around relationships and sexuality, I've had the opportunity to observe so many men approaching this practice from many different walks of life and points of view. So I have an abundance of information to share with you guys today. So the first number one sort of biggest misconception that I see men making about semen retention is that it's all about abstinence. That you have to, if you want to practice semen retention, renounce sexuality altogether. And while that is a form or a certain way we can approach semen retention, it's not the only way. I see this a lot in the no-fap community, where guys are sort of pairing semen retention with the practice of trying to quit pornography. And for that reason, they go sort of full-on hard mode, which is just to give up everything, renounce everything. Like, if I let it in just a crack, I'm going to cave and I'm going to fall back into my addiction. So I'm not even going to entertain sexual thoughts. I'm not going to think about women. I'm not going to look at women's tits or asses, because that is letting that sexual intent arise inside of me, and I need to quash it. Otherwise, it's going to get a grip again and take over. And I also see this happening in the spiritual community, or various spiritual communities that approach semen retention or continence or abstinence for spiritual purposes, in which case the practice is taken very, very strictly, and ejaculation is somehow avoided, or intimacy, lovemaking with a partner is also avoided, and that gets taken off the table altogether. However, in my experience, the best way to practice semen retention, and this is from personal experience, and also I've seen it through so many men that I've worked with, the best way to approach it is the combination of retaining but still engaging in lovemaking, because then we benefit from the polarization that happens when we make love, when we have attraction, when we have this kind of dance between the polarity, the masculine and feminine, and we get to charge ourselves with this very passionate, alive, effervescent, erotic energy that comes from having that intimate connection, and we choose to harness it. We don't need to give it up entirely. We actually benefit from harnessing that energy and directing it towards our practices, our creativity, our workouts, our life purpose, our spiritual development. And then it becomes a very life-affirming practice, and it's not just about renunciation. The second big misconception that I see happening is that semen retention is going to give you superpowers. A lot of men, especially in the kind of bro science, masculinity space, claim that semen retention is the ultimate hack that we can develop, and it's going to level up everything. You're going to be a pussy magnet. You're going to be way more jacked. Your testosterone will go through the roof. It also, you see it in the spiritual community as well. This is going to enlighten you. You're going to become this God, or it's going to connect you with God. and give you this divine channel. And I think all of this is very often exaggerated. And while it will certainly bring many of these benefits, these are like a gradual accumulation of qualities and insights and capacities that will slowly build over time. It's not this magic pill. As soon as you retain for a month or 3 months or a year, then you're going to become, Hercules. It doesn't work like that. These benefits do come, but it's a much more gradual, much more subtle kind of effect. The next biggest misconception playing out is that ejaculation gets demonized. So, and this is a mistake that I made because I approached it from a very spiritual perspective, of cultivating this sexual energy, being a tantric yogi, harnessing it, and not wanting to let a single drop of that energy go. And in the process, I built up a lot of contraction. If I ejaculated, it would be an accident, and I would beat myself up. I would shame myself. And I even had a lover at the time who I ejaculated in lovemaking, and she cried. She was so upset that I failed in the practice of being perfectly continent and retaining. It broke her, and it ruined the whole evening. It ruined the lovemaking, and that kind of imprinted on me that I don't want to make that mistake again. That didn't go well, and over time, I've come to understand that it's about moderation. It's about cultivating this energy. Yes, harnessing that sexual power, but also not repressing it, not demonizing something that is natural, a natural response of the body, and, giving up this pleasure that we can feel. And ultimately, even if you want to take the spiritual perspective, everything is sacred. Everything is beautiful. Everything is a manifestation of the divine, even ejaculation, perhaps especially ejaculation. Sharing that with your lover, if it's with the right intent, if it's with presence, with devotion, with love, consciously letting go, it's just as sacred as anything else. So another big misconception is that the benefits of semen retention are mainly physical, and it becomes this very sort of mechanical process whereby we just need to stop it coming out, and that it's going to give us this sort of physical endowment. But in my experience, the majority of the benefits come on the emotional, the spiritual, the energetic levels. It's not just a physical thing. It's not just physical benefits. You're not just going to, look better or be stronger in the gym or be a better boxer or fighter or MMA guy. So much more of it is about developing the discipline necessary to resist your urges, to resist watching pornography, to even resist in ejaculating in lovemaking, and having the curiosity to go beyond that into the deeper layers and to see what is there. See what happens to your emotional state. See what happens to your energy levels. See what happens when you make love for hours without ejaculating multiple nights in a row and then go and do your meditation. Watch what happens to your mind when you do that. It's profound. And not everyone experiences it the same. For some guys, semen retention will be one thing and it will have certain benefits. For other men, it will have vastly different benefits. Some men can find it easy to retain for long periods of time. They don't get blue balls. They don't start getting frustrated or angry, or, they're able to simply alchemize that energy. They direct it towards their practice or their passion, their purpose, their creativity, and they can retain for months or even years with little to no effort. Other guys need to struggle and strain and will struggle to last for even a week, and they will have wet dreams. So I think the most important thing is to have the curiosity to experiment and experience what it will do for you when you start to practice. I think it's super important to reduce, or to refrain from putting in this box of there's no ejaculation, never. I hate this kind of absolutist perspectives. Maybe that's all right for some people. Maybe it's not all right for you. Just because it was all right for your teacher or for your guru or for whoever doesn't mean it works for you that way. You need to be your own guru. You need to be a scientist approaching it with curiosity, with a certain methodology. Track your progress, observe the results, and repeat the process to validate your claims. Semen retention can be an amazing addition and practice, and super, super empowering because it helps you to develop a conscious relationship with your sexuality, to gain control and mastery and awareness over your urges and this energy that is constantly operating inside of you, motivating a lot of your decisions, your behaviors, how you relate to women or to anyone that you're attracted to. But it's not a magic pill. It's not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to turn you into some god or make you superior to other people. It's an inner discipline. And if you want to develop the real sort of conscious modern day monk attitude where you can go inside of yourself and develop this deeply personal relationship with your own energy, your own sexuality, your own vitality, that's what it's all about. And if you can learn to develop a reverence and devotion for that, and then share that with your lover, bring that attitude into the bedroom, into your relationship, and offer it to her or to him, whoever it is, as a gift, that's where it really, really has the biggest impact. Remember that your relationship with other people is determined by the quality of the relationship you have with yourself. And if you are relating to yourself with demonization, judgment, repression, excessive control, an egotistic sort of pursuit to try to make yourself better or superior to other people in some way, and then you wield that to bolster your sense of self, it's just going on your ego. It's narcissistic. It's shallow. But if you can cultivate this deeply conscious relationship with it, and you can hold this practice, hold it lightly, enjoy it, be curious, see what's there, see what works, see what doesn't. When it works, great, keep going. If it doesn't work, you don't enjoy it, stop. Put it down for a while, try something else. And in general, that's the attitude we should have for all walks of life, in my experience. And this comes from years of ideology and dogma and groupthink and fucking it up, making mistakes. And that has humbled me to the point where that's why I speak about it like this. Because I tried it the other ways and I see where it got me, and I don't like it. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you found this interesting. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, your experiences with semen retention so far in the comments. If you want to learn more about this, I've done a full podcast episode breaking down my journey with semen retention. I think it's an hour long. It's on the Awakened Evolution podcast. You'll see the link for that in the description below. Let's have a discussion. Tell me about your practices. Ask me questions if you've got points where you get stuck, you're confused, you're not sure how to proceed or progress, or if you're making the right choices with your semen retention practice, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys tomorrow.